Good morning. It's Thursday, March 19th. Here's what we're working on.
I'm Simone Gavros reporting live in Mississauga. A young boy is dead after being struck and killed by a GO train yesterday afternoon. Peel Police and Metrolinx continue to investigate.
President Donald Trump claims the U.S. knew nothing after Israel bombed a gas facility in Iran.
Jones behind the back. Oh, Jacoby with the block. Mamus has knocked you out.
And the Raptors take the win against the Chicago Bulls. Thanks so much for joining us on this pretty special morning. It is the last official day of winter.
Yay! Finally, something to celebrate.
We can see the light, Brian.
Yeah. Yes, we can. Oh, yes. And as long as it's not a train coming in the end of the tunnel towards us, oh, dear. We're looking at pretty nice conditions as far as temperatures are concerned, and it is going to get better. We are going to see milder temperatures today. Today, we should hit 8 degrees. So, yeah, we only got to about -1 yesterday, -2 in some areas. But, yeah, so we're looking at instability pushing in. We did have some flurry activity throughout the overnight hours, but we could get some showers later on today. Showers are possible. Instability, not too bad as far as the winds are concerned, but an 8-degree high today, and it will stay mild over the next number of days. And as we get into spring tomorrow, we are looking at some showers. But hey, that's how you think about spring. So we'll talk about the details on that coming up. We're just into the minus column at the moment. -1 is our temperature, so not a bad start. Wind chill about -4. So we'll talk about the forecast coming up. Quick check on traffic this morning. 403 and Waterdown Road, that's doing okay, so no problems right there. Some MTO traffic cameras. Haven't heard of any collisions, nothing as far as a real slowdown is concerned. Top of the Skyway Bridge is moving fairly nicely. And here's a look at the QEW at third line, Toronto-bound lanes coming towards us. So we will update weather and traffic in a few minutes for you, but right now, let's check the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. We're learning more details about a deadly incident on the Lakeshore West GO train line. Peel Police say a boy was killed by a train in Mississauga yesterday afternoon. Simone Gavros is there with more.
Well, Annette, this is just near Cawthra and the QEW here, and it's an unimaginable tragedy that happened yesterday afternoon around 3 p.m. Now, Peel Police say that the boy is around 12 to 13 years old when he went around the barriers here at this crossing and was unfortunately struck and killed by the train. Now, you can see that the barriers are operational here, and the trains are moving along these tracks pretty quickly, of course, as they are going to their destinations. Police say that the boy was riding around on a motorized scooter prior to the incident, and he was with another young child as well when this all happened. Now, there was a very significant police response once this all happened. Multiple first responders were on scene at the train crossing near Alexandra Avenue and 4th Street. It's about a 5-minute drive from Long Branch GO. Now, Metrolinx released a statement last night saying, quote, "While the details of the incident are still under investigation by Peel Regional Police, this is an important and sobering reminder of the importance of rail safety and how dangerous trains are. With more trains and more people moving across our region every day, staying aware at rail crossings is essential." Now, at this point today, it doesn't look like there's any delays on the Lakeshore line because of that happened here yesterday afternoon. But I have reached out to Metrolinx and police for any updates that they can provide throughout the day, and I'll also be talking to some people in the area for further reaction. For now, things back to you, Rick.
Thank you, Simone. Toronto's fire chief is expected to give an update this afternoon on a condo fire that burned for weeks. A 5-alarm blaze started the night of November 27th, forcing the evacuation of more than 400 units. Flames weren't visible, but smoldered between the walls of 2 adjoining condo towers on Thorncliffe Park for weeks. People couldn't start moving back until January because of high carbon monoxide levels.
There's been a deadly house fire in Niagara. A man's body was found inside this home on Elm Street in the Falls. His name has not been released. The fire started around 6 o'clock last night. Niagara police say their detectives have taken over the investigation with cooperation from the Ontario Fire Marshal.
Halton police are investigating after a violent home invasion in Milton. It happened just before 3 o'clock yesterday morning at a home in the area of Roseway and Wellwood Terrace. Police say 5 masked men forced their way through the front door and assaulted a woman inside, stealing her money and designer clothing. The woman suffered minor injuries. Police say no weapon was used in the attack. No description of the men has been released.
Ontario's police watchdog has cleared a Niagara officer who shot and killed a man accused of murdering a woman and abducting a child last October. The Special Investigations Unit says the officer used reasonable force. 38-year-old Anthony DeShepper was being pursued by police after he fled with a child whose mother was killed in Brampton. DeShepper left the child with family before heading to Niagara Falls, where police found him at a gas station near Thorold Stone and Montrose Roads. The report says he was hiding in a vehicle under blankets and fired 3 shots at an officer. That officer then discharged 8 or 9 rounds into the vehicle, striking the suspect multiple times.
Rare criticism of Israel from President Donald Trump over the war with Iran. It comes as state media in Tehran report new attacks on its oil production facilities and the world's largest natural gas field. In a post on Truth Social last night, Trump says Israel lashed out in anger and the U.S. knew nothing about the attack on the South Pars gas field. But the Wall Street Journal, citing unnamed U.S. officials, say Trump approved the strike in an effort to pressure Iran into unblocking the Strait of Hormuz. Iran wasted no time in firing back at oil facilities around the Persian Gulf, with Qatar reporting extensive damage at its main energy hub. Trump has warned that if Iran continues to attack Qatar, the U.S. will, quote, massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before.
Serious allegations have been made against an iconic civil rights activist in the United States. A statue of Cesar Chavez at Fresno State University is draped in black after accusations that he abused girls for years. Chavez founded the United Farm Workers of America in the 1970s. Chavez, who died in 1993, has had several streets and schools named after him, especially in California. An investigation by the New York Times has found extensive evidence that Chavez groomed and sexually abused girls who worked in the movement. An investigation into Hong Kong's deadliest fire in decades is pointing to several safety failures. Investigators say alarms, hose systems, and other protections were not working when flammable materials used in and around the building may have contributed to the fire's rapid spread. Last November's fire killed 168 people as it tore through a large housing complex. A public inquiry is hearing evidence as families push for answers and accountability. The Ontario government is taking unusual steps on the steps outside of Queen's Park. It's going to wrap all 8 statues on the lawn of the Ontario legislature to prevent further damage to them during a student rally that's expected next week. Some of the monuments were already vandalized during an earlier protest over provincial cuts to post-secondary student grants. The Speaker of the House, Flamborough-Glanbrook MPP Donna Skelly, says it cost more than $5,000 to clean up the damage already done.
These statues will be wrapped with either a plastic or canvas material prior to Tuesday. The protest will take place. Hopefully, it will be peaceful. And then once the protesters have left, the wrapping will come down.
A war memorial was stickered and a monument of George Brown, one of the fathers of Confederation, were damaged during a protest earlier this month. A lifetime of piano lessons is paying off as a family in Utah gets ready to take the stage at Carnegie Hall. 16 members of the Brinton family will perform at the historic venue on Monday. They're led by Juilliard concert piano graduate Sally Peterson Brinton. She spent decades passing her musical talent down to her children and grandchildren. The youngest to join her on stage will be 7. The family says the concert is about bringing joy to others and sharing the talents they've developed together, all on the piano bench.
Very cool story. The Toronto Raptors are on a 3-game winning streak after a dominating performance in Chicago.
Jones behind the back. Oh, Jacoby with the block. Mamoose has knocked you out.
Toronto trounced the Bulls 139-109 last night. Canadian R.J. Barrett scored 23 points. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Jacoby Walter all chipped in with 18. 7 Raptors scored in double figures as the team opened a 5-game road trip. The Raps led by as many as 38 points and completed a 3-game season sweep against Chicago. Toronto visits Denver tomorrow night. WNBA and its players' union have agreed in principle on what's being called a transformational new collective bargaining agreement. It still needs to be ratified by the players and approved by the league's board of governors, and comes after 17 months of often contentious negotiations. The salary cap will rise from $1.5 million last year to $7 million. Supermax contracts will balloon from $250K to $1.4 million, and the average salary will jump from $120,000 to $600,000. The minimum salary will also rise from the current $66,000 to $300,000. Before the WNBA tips off its 30th season on May 8th, when the expansion Toronto Tempo hosts Washington at Coca-Cola Coliseum, the league has to hold an expansion draft, and teams will need to negotiate with more than 80% of players who are free agents. Canada's Carrie Anderson has picked up 2 more wins at the World Women's Curling Championship in Calgary. Her Manitoba rink scooted by Scotland 7-5 last night after needing just 6 ends to beat Turkey 9-3 earlier in the day. Canada and the Swiss are tied for first at 7-1. Sidney Crosby scored in his first game since getting hurt at the Olympics, but his Penguins lost 6-5 in overtime against Carolina. Sean Walker scored the winning goal with 28.3 seconds left in OT. Crosby also had an assist in the loss. Alex Ovechkin scored his 922nd goal, and Cole Hudson scored his first goal in an empty net in his NHL debut to lead the Capitals to a 4-1 win over Ottawa. Ovi's goal leaves him one shy of 1,000 when you include his 77 in the playoffs. He also reached the 25-goal mark for the 20th time in his career. That ties the NHL record held by the great Gordie Howe. The loss, by the way, leaves the Senators 5 points out of a playoff spot with 15 games to play.
Pinnock waits. Out top is O'Brien. O'Brien wanders on. Gets Zada down to a knee. Fed it out front. They score! Back door. Merrick Van Acker.
Van Acker scored twice, and Jake O'Brien had a goal and 3 assists as the Brantford Bulldogs beat the Niagara Ice Dogs 5-2 at TD Civic Centre. Van Acker, who leads the Ontario Hockey League in scoring, is now 4 goals away from his first 50-goal season with 2 games to play. With the win, the Bulldogs clinch first place in the OHL and home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. And in keeping with tradition, Rory McIlroy has revealed his menu for the annual Master Club Dinner. As the defending Masters champion, McIlroy is the host of the dinner on the Tuesday night of tournament week at Augusta National. He selects the menu and picks up the tab, a tradition that dates back to 1952. The menu includes some items from his home in Northern Ireland, including traditional Irish champ potatoes. It also includes grilled elk sliders, filet mignon, and sticky toffee pudding.
All right, it's 6:13. It's the 19th morning of March. Let's get you through this and see what we can find as far as traffic is concerned. First of all, and traffic is moving okay here. No problems. 403 and Waterdown Road. That's coming out of Hamilton towards us, so no problems right there. To some MTOs as usual. We'll start in St. Catharines. QEW in the 406. It's light volume in both directions. Same with Nikola Tesla Boulevard. East of Brant looks good. Ford Plant, as you can see, I'm just kind of flipping through some cameras because there's nothing happening. That's the QEW 427 Gardner combination. Doing fine. Temperature this morning. Well, we're sitting right on the freezing mark to start the morning now. It's sitting at 0. A little bit of a wind chill, but not too bad. -4 is what it feels like. The winds are south-southwest, so it's going to help to pull in some milder temperatures as we get that southerly flow. We had a little blast of some snow flurry activity overnight, a little whiteness on the ground this morning. Hopefully that'll be gone later today because the temperature is going to mild up quite nicely. So the warm front goes through. So we get that southerly flow, a little bit of a cold front a little later on tonight into tomorrow. But the temperatures actually are going to stay on the mild side for the next number of days before it starts to cool off into the beginning of next week. But today, temperatures anywhere from 5 in Niagara Falls, 6, 7, and 8 degrees. There is chance of flurries this morning, and then we're going to cycle into some showers later on as that temperature milds up. Tonight, we just dip into the minus column. tomorrow. -1 to 0 in some areas. There's a chance of some showers in the evening, and then overnight it'll just be partly cloudy. And then tomorrow, temperatures, as we get into spring tomorrow, temperatures 7, 8, and 9 degrees, but there is a chance of a shower. Well, that's what you think of spring, isn't it? Some clouds and some showers, but mild temperatures, and that's the way it's going to be for tomorrow. So out the door, 19th of March, it's cloudy, the winds are light, the temperature right now sitting right on the freezing mark. We'll look at the long-range forecast for the weekend coming up. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what she has for us in Chit Chat. And in business news, a no-go for Cuba. Canadian Airlines are staying away for longer. More on that after the break. Let's say good morning to Emily with a preview of Chit Chat.
Hi, good morning. Val Kilmer is set to be resurrected with AI for a brand new film.
This is a weird story.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird to me, but we're going to take a deep dive.
Okay.
The first trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day has been released. And Rick,
yes,
you touched on it a little bit during Sportsline, but we will go into more in-depth into this year's Masters Champions Dinner. I have been busy making my own menu. You will all get a copy, and we shall see if we can figure out how we're going to have it for lunch today.
Okay. As long as we're invited, we're happy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
It's pretty good. Okay, on the markets this morning, the Canadian dollar is up just slightly, or down just slightly, to 72.83 cents U.S. Gold, though, look at that, is down $162 to just over $4,700. That's very unusual in the last several weeks. And oil up less than $1 to $96.23 U.S. a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, London, Frankfurt, and Paris, all down significantly today.
In Asia, Tokyo plummeted nearly 1,900 points on the Asian markets, and at yesterday's close on Bay and Wall Streets, the TSX and Dow both suffered big losses, as did the Nasdaq.
2 Canadian airlines are extending their suspension of flights to Cuba. WestJet has canceled most of its Cuba trips through October, although 2 of its tour package divisions are expected to start up again in June. Air Transit also plans to resume flights to Cuba in June. Cuba is struggling with island-wide blackouts and a ballooning energy crisis caused by a U.S. oil blockade. The country relies heavily on tourism.
As expected, the Bank of Canada is holding its key interest rate at 2.25%. Governor Tiff Macklem says the central bank is in a dilemma with U.S. trade uncertainty keeping the economy soft, while the Middle East war sends global oil prices surging. He says the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran will likely spur higher inflation in the coming months.
Inflation close to target and the economy in excess supply, the risk that higher energy prices quickly spread to the prices of other goods and services looks contained. But the longer the conflict lasts and the wider it gets, the bigger the risks.
The central bank's decision also comes after the latest jobs data show the unemployment rate rose to 6.7% after the economy lost 84,000 jobs in February.
A new survey suggests people are fed up with tipping. A study by H&R Block Canada found that 67% of people surveyed say it's time to abolish tipping altogether. 93% feel tipping is out of hand, especially with digital prompt payments, some which start now at 18 or 20%. Nearly 9 in 10 resent being asked to tip where it's not expected, and 41% say they avoid those businesses. Attitudes are shifting. 65% now feel less awkward skipping tips, with more choosing the no-tip option. The report also notes that digital tips are increasingly treated as taxable income through employers or platforms.
If you've ever e-signed a document or used two-factor authentication, you have 2 men to thank. Canadian computer scientist Gilles Brassard and American physicist Charles Bennett have received the A.M. Turing Award, which is considered to be the Nobel Prize for computing. They were honored for their work on cryptography dating back to 1984. It formed the basis of the encryption we use today that helps keep internet traffic safe. The pair received a $1 million prize for their work.
Okay, we're taking a quick break right now. Brian will be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast. It includes spring.
Let's get you prepped for a Thursday morning, 19th of March. Here, time is 6:24, and we have nothing to show you as far as traffic is concerned, but I'll show you some cameras anyhow. QEW 405 doing fine. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, well, you're seeing some brake lights coming on as you head down toward North Shore Boulevard. That's pretty much normal for this time of the morning. A little busy here at Third Line, but not too bad. Lauren Park looks good. Even the 403, 407 split through Mississauga, no problems at all. So take it carefully, please, because the temperature is just sitting on the freezing mark at the moment. So March break week continues, getting out to enjoy some of the activities. But the temperature right now to start the day is on the freezing mark for Hamilton and Mississauga. Wind chill about -4. Plus side for Grimsby, Toronto, but just +1 there. Seasonal temperatures for this time of year now 5 for the daytime high, +5, and -4 for the overnight low. Sometimes we gain another 3 minutes of daylight for the day today. Could see a little bit of sun, but not an awful lot, and those are our records for today. And for today, could get some mixing. That is, we're sitting at the freezing mark right now, so we could get some flurries. And then when we climb to 8 degrees today, we could get some showers a little later on. Temperatures falling back to -1 tonight. Tomorrow, 7 as we get into spring in the morning tomorrow. There's chance of showers throughout the day. Like it's Saturday, not bad at all. Saturday, sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover. Temperature 11 degrees. We'll enjoy that. Even milder Sunday, 14, but we'll get showers. The sun comes back for the beginning of next week, but it does tend to get a little bit cooler below seasonal. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Thanks, Brian. There's been a furry surprise for travelers in Australia.
A wild possum was found sitting among a bunch of stuffed animals at a gift shop in Tasmania's Hobart Airport. A passerby recorded the marsupial, who was described by an airport employee as being, quote, pretty comfortable with his friends there. The possum later left the shop and walked around the terminal. Their possums look a lot cuter than ours do.
Yeah, very much so. Yes, you just want to take this one home from the gift shop.
Can you imagine you're going through looking for stuff and this thing moves?
Yeah, you're like, what is going on? What kind of robotics is this? Oh, it's a real possum.
Yeah.
Wow.
And can confirm it's not a Tasmanian devil.
No.
No.
That's pretty good. All right, stay with us. More to come here on Morning Live after the break. Good morning. Not many possum songs.
No.